I know a lot of you want to do everything you can to try to min-max your characters, or you just want to know what the more important things are to do in order to keep up. So for this video, I'll be breaking down what you guys need to do week by week, so that way you don't get left behind. So we're going to be going over a spreadsheet that was provided by Lulais, so a huge shout out to him for that. And also, if you guys want to stay up to date with all things World of Warcraft, or you just want to watch some content on other RPG-like games, then you should definitely hit that subscribe button, because chances are you're going to find something on my channel that you like. Okay, so we're going to start out with the early access players. Now, this is going to begin on August the 22nd. Here is a timetable of when the actual event is going to unlock and Blizzard flips the switch to enable the expansion. I think the safest route is to log out in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, depending on your faction, and not be in Dalaran when this actually switches on, because I think there could be some issues or bugs with the phasing technology in the game. So just to be on the safe side, I would start out in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and then make sure that you got your Dalaran Hearthstone ready to go. And from here, you're just going to prioritize doing the full campaign on your first character. Finishing the campaign is going to unlock adventure mode for your ults and also world quests and all the fun stuff. I think the experience is definitely adjusted on the beta right now, because I just did the main story and I ignored all of the side quests, and I was able to finish the whole campaign by level 77, so that could change. In fact, I think it probably will. So if you don't get to level 80 by just doing the main storyline, I would say do some of the side quests and try to ignore doing world quests for now. Once your first character is level 80, now is the time for you guys to level any ults if you want to. And the nice thing about this is, since you've completed the quest and have your first 80, you'll be able to do the adventure mode on all of your ults. And I think that's a lot faster, so that's really cool. If you're not interested in working on ults, or you've got your ults to level 80 already, the next thing you guys want to be doing is spamming normal dungeons and delves levels 1 through 3. This is also going to be a really good time for you guys to start working on your professions. And for you gathering professions out there, this is definitely a really good time for you to hoard as many mats as possible. And just a reminder that the early access period is from the 22nd to the 26th. And this is also probably the one time in the part of the expansion where you guys can kind of go slow and just go like more of like a relaxed pace, because there's not a bunch of stuff you can really do that's going to make a huge impact for your character in the end game. We only get the start of a new expansion so many times, so definitely just try to like enjoy it when you can. Week 1 is when things start to warm up a little bit. If you're looking to just push your item level, the things you definitely want to be doing is the world events, heroic dungeons, and delves 1 through 3, and just keep doing those until you hit 580 item level. After that, this would be a really good time for you guys to grab your profession knowledge treasures, as well as all of the skywriting glyphs if you guys want them. And then also, this is probably a really good time to start pushing professions. And then the last thing you guys can do in week 1, if you've done everything else, is going to be out and basically digging up that dirt. This is an activity that you guys can do once you hit Renown level 2 with Assembly of the Deeps. It's really easy to do. All you do is fly around the zones and look for the disturbed earth on the ground. You're doing this to get the item called Odd Globs of Wax, which you guys can turn into Middles, the wax collector. Every time you give him 50 globs of wax, he's going to give you a Firelight Ruby, which is some currency you can use to turn into the guy next to him called Nobbles for some pretty good stuff. This is actually a really good way to get a bunch of stuff for your crafting professions. Oh yeah, and then there's also a chance to get fragments for delve keys, which is something that's really important. Moving on to week 2, you're going to do pretty much everything you did from week 1 if you haven't already, and the big focus here is going to be trying to do the events and try to grind that reputation for your renowns. If you're going to be playing any alts, definitely this is going to be a good time to start working on them and get them ready. Number 3 is be the best dirt farmer, i.e. make sure that you guys are just, farming those disturbed earths. Number 4 is going to be raid prep. This means get your materials for flasks, potions, enchants, all the good stuff you're going to be doing if you're a raider. Number 5 really isn't required, but if you're in a guild, it's probably a really good time to help other people farm profession recipes, i.e. dungeons, the theater event, things like that. This is also the week that the weekly quests unlock, so make sure that you guys do that. And also, it's worth mentioning, get plenty of sleep. Alright, moving on to week 3. So the first and most important thing you guys want to get done in week 3 is kill the world boss. After that, you're going to want to spam rank 8 delves as much as possible. Just make sure that you don't do higher than a rank 8 delve, because rank 8s is the highest you can get for the best gear. And also, you're going to be wanting to prioritize the bountiful delves. Now, as I mentioned, you're going to need a restored coffer key if you want to do these bountiful delves. Now to get these keys, there's a couple of different ways you can do them. The one way that you guys have been doing so far already is by doing those dirt piles. You can get coffered key shards from that. You can get them from world quests, Radiant Echoes, and just random outdoor events all around Khaz-Algar. Now other stuff you're going to be wanting to do in week 3 is obviously weekly quests. You're going to be wanting to farm specific pieces from M0s. Make sure that you do those daily, especially for trinkets. Also, if you've got the means to it, do the normal and heroic raids. Now, if you're in a raiding guild, this is kind of expected, but if you're not someone that does that, or you're more of a casual player, you really can't do this. Week 3 should also be when you theoretically should be able to craft that first piece of gear, or, have someone craft it for you. And yeah, after that, just spam delves. That's like the most important thing you can do, aside from, doing the raids. The goal for the end of week 3, now this is going to be very dependent on the raid drops, but you want to be between item levels 610 and 615. And then the last thing you want to do on week 3 is you want to 100% your Great Vault. Now week 4 is when season 1 officially starts. That's going to be when Mythic Plus and also the Mythic Raid opens. This is also the week that a lot of people recommend actually taking time off at work, so that way you can just spam Mythic Plus till your heart's content. But yeah, so at the start of week 4, you're going to want to do everything from week 3 except skip Mythic Zeros. Those are worthless now. Obviously with Mythic Plus, you definitely want to be trying to push as high as you can and farm whatever the hardest difficulty you possibly can. That's going to be, I think, plus 10s. Next up, you'll want to start doing the Mythic Raid if that's an option for you. I believe this is also when the first catalyst kicks off. That's going to be for, getting your tier gear. So if you're someone that's been doing the raids from the previous week, then by the end of this week, at the very least, or worst, next Tuesday, you should have your 4 set. After that, pick out the best piece of gear from your vault. You should try to prioritize a piece of tier gear if you can, and then try to 100% the vault again. So by the end of week 4, the goal should be to have at least 620 to 626 item level. And again, this is going to be totally dependent on your raid drops and how many Mythic Plus kills you get. And then after that, it's really just, pushing Mythic Plus and doing the raids to get gear, and just, trying to get as much gear as you can. Or, whatever you play WoW for, i.e. professions or, achievements. That's pretty much it. So there you guys go. That is what you need to do for the first initial weeks of The War Within. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video, and also let me know in the comments section what your guys' plans or goals are for The War Within. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm still Solo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.